Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. Speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and needy. That's Proverbs 31, verses 8 and 9. Some of the most vulnerable people in the world, children in impoverished countries, are being exploited by the millions. They're working in unsafe conditions. They're often paid very little, if at all. And it's not uncommon for them to be the victim of abuse. When interviewed in a Peabody Award-winning documentary titled Slavery, A Global Investigation, former slave Ali Diabati said, "The beatings became another part of my life." Industries that participate in this type of behavior will turn around and sell these products to an often unknowing consumer such as yourself. Now, if you want to do something about this unfathomable justice, we first need to know what it is. So lucky for you, my co-speaker, Angela, and myself have investigated child slavery. Now, unlucky for you, after this speech, you'll no longer be able to sit idly by in silence. In his speech, The Trumpet of Conscience, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends." Today, we're going to share with you the tragedy of child slavery and some solutions that you can take to help put an end to it. From coffee to cotton to cocoa, from garments to gold, from shrimp to sugarcane, all these industries rely heavily on forced child labor. According to an article on Compassion.com, which used data from the United Nations Development Program and from the International Labor Organization, there are 168 million child laborers in the world. That's more than double all of the children in the US, and globally that accounts for almost 11% of all kids. Child labor is found most commonly in commodity-driven markets in the world's poorest countries. That same article on Compassion.com estimated that forced labor has generated roughly $150 billion in profits per year. Sadly, the children that are used for these profits will see virtually none of them. IHSCSLnews.org reported in their February 2015 newsletter, authored by Erica Ketterer, that in the coffee industry, only 1% of the retail price is going back to the production. And there are some kids in the cocoa industry who have never even tasted chocolate. With all these overwhelming numbers, it may seem impossible to make a dent in child slavery. But there are a few simple things that you can do to at least reduce your contribution to it.
To say that there is a single solution to ending child slavery is foolish. But there are a few steps on getting involved. One of the first things is to educate yourself and others that are around you. There is an endless amount of information on child slavery out there. First, go to slaveryfootprint.org. The second is to educate others when and if all possible. It is pointless to do these two steps unless you are willing to act upon it. So try not buying candy that you know the companies participate in child labor. Buy candy labeled fair trade. This is a difficult, but it's getting very, very much easier. In a November 20th, 2013 article titled Fair Trade on the website of Friends of the Earth, it states that more than 300,000 fair trade products are being produced in more than 70 countries. Whether you choose to or not to educate yourself and act upon it, you will be making a difference in someone's lives. Being educated helps you make morally responsible decisions. It won't make child labor go away, but it will help you so you're not contributing to it. If everyone shifts their buying habits, the market will respond to that. And if everyone starts to change their lifestyles, others will join in on it. And if you decide that this is not worth your time, don't worry, there's no impact on your life. But I'd love for you to explain your position on a boy named Amadou, a former boy slave in a cocoa industry. In the documentary, Slavery, A Global Investigation, Amadou was asked what he would say to someone eating the chocolate he helped make. He responded, "If I had something to say to them, it would not be nice. They enjoyed something I suffered to make. I worked hard for them, but saw no benefit. They are eating my flesh." In conclusion, we have exposed the tragedy of child slavery and provided you with the steps on beginning an end to it. If you are ready to end the willful ignorance which has plagued these poor defenseless children, a good start would be start clicking on the links and start educating yourself along with others around you. Choosing to do all that you can do to end child slavery is not a question of what kind of world you want to live in. It is not about giving a child's innocence. It is a question of what kind of person you want to be and maintaining your own innocence.